Hi, welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. First game yesterday, couldn't have went much worse. 4-3 defeat at home to Liverpool, conceding 4 goals. And the manager, Arsene Wenger, coming out after the game and saying we're not ready. We were not ready. Well, I think, every fan knew going into the game that we weren't ready, giving half of our players time off, playing 2 very inexperienced players as the 2 centre-backs. Why, oh why, we have not brought in the players that we need, that I've been talking about all summer on this show, that you guys have been sending in hundreds of thousands of comments about. Why the manager Arsene Wenger has not seen to identify these players and get them in before the first game of the season, which, by the way, we knew a long time ago was going to be against Liverpool. First 2 games, Liverpool and Leicester. It doesn't get much harder than that. Leicester away, by the way. It doesn't get much harder than that as a start to your season, and we're not ready. We're not prepared. We've not brought in the players. Liverpool yesterday, when I looked at their team, you could see a refreshed team, New signings, Wijnaldum, Sadio Mane, Klavan, all these new signings in their team. Their fans were going to that game and they're excited. We turn up, not one new player. Well, Rob Holding was the only new player in that team. And let's face it, if everybody had been fit, Rob Holding wouldn't have been playing. Rob Holding, I understood when we first bought him, was probably going to be a guy that we were going to bring in and maybe send him out on loan to get more experience before he then returns back to Arsenal. And by the way, I'm not blaming him, for his first game he played okay. But you're up against, a real fresh, rejuvenated Liverpool side. Our team, the same old tired team. Granit Xhaka, our new signing, on the bench. I mean, what is going on with our transfer policy at Arsenal Football Club? The promises that we've been made, the things that we've been told. Just where are they? And then the worst thing about that was I was doing an interview after the show and this guy said to me, oh, by the way, Robbie, Lacazette scored our hat-trick yesterday. And I just had to laugh to myself. Lacazette, the guy who we could have brought in, it was obvious yesterday. And if there's only going to be one good thing that comes out of yesterday's defeat, is that certain things became obvious even to Arsene Wenger, although I don't know, because it's obvious to everybody for ages. Sometimes it doesn't seem obvious to him. Obvious that we need an experienced centre-back, which is what they know. They said they know, they're not stupid. They're going to bring in, and they haven't. But obvious that we need an experienced centre-back, and obvious that we need a striker. Alexis Sanchez likes the ball. He likes to be on the ball a lot of times in a game, not isolated up front. That's not his best position. He could play it, and he'll probably score goals, but that's not his best position. Theo Walcott is better coming in off the right, as we saw again. We need an out-and-out goal-scoring striker. Lacazette is there. Lacazette, he scored a hat-trick yesterday. He scored 20-odd goals last season, the season before, and the season before that. He's available, the best target available. He'd come to Arsenal. Why have we not got it done? Then, and worse on top of that, Lacazette came out with some comments yesterday. He was asked by Canal Plus, the TV station over there in France, about his future. He was asked that if would he leave Lyon if the right offer came in, and his words were, if offers come in that one cannot refuse, I don't want to refuse them. If not, I'm happy at Lyon. That's what he said. So all the talk that we've heard coming out of Lyon, that is it confirmed. He said, let me repeat again, if an offer comes in that you can't refuse, I don't want to refuse them. What are you waiting for, Arsenal Football Club? Get there and make that offer to Alexander Lacazette, who's the best striker that's available out there right now, and bring him into Arsenal Football Club. If Lacazette would have been playing yesterday, fans would have been excited. Even if he had a bad game, we would have been excited to see what he's going to do. Why, oh why have we not brought in a player like this? What, because we don't want to offer an extra 5 million over the odds? Get it done. We need goals. The guy's a goal scorer, as he's proved yesterday. All right, I know he's playing against Nancy. It's not Liverpool, but he still scored a hat-trick. You can only do and score at what is put in front of you. The guy is quality. Now, for me, you know, if we don't get a striker in, it's going to be a dereliction of duty for Arsene Wenger. I don't want to hear no excuses about there's nobody out there. This guy's out there and he's saying it. He's putting it out there that if an offer comes in that I can't refuse, I'll come. Let's get it done, right? So there's Lacazette. There's also today we're hearing about Mario Icardi. Icardi's agent has apparently been reported in Italian outlets that she's going to fly into the UK this week for talks with Arsenal. Also, they're also saying it could also be talks with Chelsea. With this one, I really don't know. I still think that she's playing off everybody just to get a great contract for Mario Icardi. I think he's currently on a 3.5 million euros a year contract. He's trying to push it up to something closer to 5 million. So, you know, and she seems to be working wonders with it. Mustafi, that has to be done this week, right? What are we waiting for? Is this a £125 million deal? Or is it a £25 million deal? Arsenal Football Club are a big club. You know, come on, a club like Palace would have had this done by now. Let's get this deal done. Let's get Mustafi into the club early this week, training so that he's ready for that game against Leicester. You know, I mean, come on, let's get these things in motion for Arsenal Football Club. But Mustafi, linked heavily again today. All the rumours are that it's going to happen this week. We'll have to keep our fingers crossed that it does get done this week. But we saw yesterday we need experience in the centre-back position. It's one position really where it's really hard for a youngster to come in. So youngsters have to be kind of eased into that position sometimes because, you know what, as a striker, you can make a couple of mistakes. Theo Walcott yesterday missed a penalty, but then he scored. So he's kind of redeemed himself. People will talk about the stat of him scoring. But when you're a centre-half and you mess up and it leads to a goal, I mean, that's just like, it sticks with you for the whole game and after that. And that's why it's so tough for centre-half. So we need an experienced centre-half. Mustafi's the guy that hopefully we get done. And we're still being linked today as well to Jeremy Matthew. Jeremy Matthew, of course, the experienced Barcelona centre-half who's said to be surplus to requirements. He's available. Arsenal still looking at him. Apparently, if the Mustafi thing didn't get done, they could turn to Jeremy Matthew to bring him in. Let's see what happens with that. Let's get into a couple of your comments. Ramos650 says, we won't sign anyone. Wenger is an old dog that won't change his ways. We need a new manager. New life is needed at this club. Wenger out, he says. And you know, the whole Wenger out thing's starting to come back again because I think it's self-inflicted by Arsene Wenger. I don't want to hear that on the first day of the season. We shouldn't be hearing chants of spend some effing money on the first day of the season. Maybe the last day of the season, not the first day. You know, fans should be looking at what we bought. Denny Sherlock says, I can't understand Arsene Wenger's logic right now. He said it a few months ago that the reason we didn't win the league last year is because we didn't score enough goals. We didn't convert our chances enough to score more goals, was what he said. So the most logical thing to do in the transfer window is to sign a new striker, right? No, instead Arsene Wenger decided to buy a defensive midfielder, a young inexperienced centre-back and a young unknown striker who probably won't even get a chance to play in the first team for Arsenal this season. And now Wenger has blamed fans for asking for more signings. It's just ridiculous. I cannot agree with Dennis Sherlock anymore with what he said there. He's spot on. It's what Arsene Wenger said. We didn't score enough goals. Why don't we get a striker? Let's get Lacazette or whoever it is, get them into the club, get them assimilated, and let's get our season back on track. Why do we always start off like this? Why are Arsenal in the first weekend the talking point for everybody out there? You know, I really wanted to go to the game yesterday and after the game fans to be talking about positives, and instead it was almost like a continuation on from last year. And I really want us to get on a positive standing yet again. What do you guys think? You you know, leave it in the comments below. I think I know what you guys think. You want a striker, you want a centre back, you want us to start progressing. We haven't, you know, the first game was very poor. Don't forget, get over and check out all of our videos from the game yesterday. We've done loads of stuff yesterday, loads of Periscopes, Facebook Lives, Snapchats. We were all over it yesterday. Complete coverage on Arsenal Fan TV. So if you want to recap on the game yesterday, make sure you check out our videos. Also, get over to the Man Like Robbie channel later on today. I've got a preview. I've got a review of all the weekend's games. Remember, on that channel, I talk all things football. Got a review of the weekend's game, including ours. All right. So make sure you check it out. But thanks for watching, and we'll be back around about the same time tomorrow.